Good evening, here are tonight's top stories. 3 individuals have been charged in an attempted gold smuggling operation at CJ. A tragic incident at the farm/woodland sluice resulted in the death of a 54-year-old sluice attendant who was crushed. A 66-year-old man was killed in a fatal accident on Macdoon Public Road. In Arikaka, a miner lost his life in a mining pit collapse. Jamaican artiste Stero Don was fatally shot in Sofia. A Unity businessman has been charged with the murder of a female accountant. Guyanese critics apologized to former government minister Simona Brooms over defamatory remarks. Vice President Barrett Jagdeo addressed issues related to gold smuggling and freight costs. Stay tuned for the details of these stories. Please remember to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more news.
Jamaican artiste Stero Don fatally shot in Sofia. In a shocking incident this afternoon, Jamaican-born artiste Stero Don was fatally shot in the Defield area of Sofia, Greater Georgetown. Kaider News reported that the musician was killed by a friend, who is a taxi driver residing in the area. According to sources, Stero Don had gone to his friend's home to request repayment of a debt when the situation escalated, leading to the fatal shooting. Local authorities are currently investigating the incident to gather more details and determine the exact circumstances that led to the tragic event. The death of Stero Don has sent shockwaves through the community and among his fans, who are mourning the loss of the talented artiste. Unity businessman charged with murder of female accountant. Kemraj Persad, also known as Pundit, a 67-year-old farmer and businessman from Lot 2 Unity, Maheka, East Coast Demerara, has been formally charged with the murder of Chormani Tulsi, also known as Anita. The charge stems from an incident that occurred between November 21 and 22, 2023, in Unity. Persad appeared before his worship magistrate Alan Wilson at the Maheka Magistrates Court this morning, where the murder charge was read to him. Persad was not required to enter a plea and has been remanded to prison. The case has been adjourned to June 20, 2024. The community awaits further proceedings as investigations continue into the circumstances surrounding the tragic death of Tulsi. Mining pit collapse in Arikaka claims life of miner. A tragic incident occurred on Wednesday afternoon when a mining pit in Arikaka, Northwest District, NWD, Region 1, Barimaweni, collapsed, resulting in the death of a miner. The deceased has been identified as Timothy Fraser, also known as the Mineral Boss, a dredge owner well known in the mining community. Details surrounding the incident remain unclear, but sources confirmed that Fraser's body has been retrieved from the site. The collapse has highlighted the ongoing risks faced by miners in the region. Authorities are expected to investigate the circumstances of the collapse to ensure safety protocols are enforced to prevent future occurrences. The mining community is mourning the loss of Fraser, remembering him as a prominent figure in the industry. Guyanese critics apologizes to former government minister Simona Brooms over defamatory remarks. Mikhail Rodriguez, known as the Guyanese critic, issued a public apology to former government minister Simona Brooms on Thursday in the High Court, where he is facing a $450 million lawsuit for defamation. The lawsuit stems from statements made by Rodriguez on January 22, 2024, in which he accused Brooms of being involved in a whorehouse, kayamu, business, trafficking women, and engaging in fraudulent activities. During the court appearance, Rodriguez adopted a more contrite tone, directly addressing Brooms. "I didn't realize what I said was that harmful to you." When approached for a comment, Brooms stated that she will be guided by her attorneys regarding the next steps in the legal proceedings. The case continues to attract significant public attention as it unfolds. Fatal accident on Macdoon Public Road, 66-year-old man killed. An early morning accident on the Macdoon Public Road has claimed the life of Munizer Sucharan, a 66-year-old resident of Houston Housing Scheme, East Bank Demerara, EBD. The incident occurred on Thursday at approximately 7:12 hours. Police headquarters reported that Sucharan was struck by a motorcycle, registered CL 9030, driven by a 29-year-old resident of Craig, EBD. According to the police report, the motorcyclist was traveling north when vehicles on the road halted to allow Sucharan to cross at the pedestrian crossing. As Sucharan reached the center of the road, the motorcyclist allegedly failed to stop and collided with him. The impact flung Sucharan some distance away, causing severe injuries. The motorcyclist also fell and sustained injuries. Emergency services were called, and Sucharan was rushed to the Georgetown Public Hospital's Accident and Emergency Unit. Despite receiving medical attention, he succumbed to his injuries. The motorcyclist is currently in police custody, assisting with the investigation into the accident. Authorities continue to look into the circumstances leading to this tragic event. Tragic incident at Farm Woodlands Sluice, 54-year-old sluice attendant crushed to death. In a tragic incident at the Farm/Woodlands Sluice, a 54-year-old sluice attendant, Levorn Stanford McGarrell, also known as Shortman, or Hackett, lost his life after being crushed by a massive counterweight. McGarrell, who resided at High Dam, Mahakoni, East Coast Demerara, was discovered dead on Thursday morning. According to a report from police headquarters, the fatal accident occurred between Wednesday evening and Thursday morning. McGarrell's son-in-law, Laver Welch, who also works at the same sluice but on a different shift, provided crucial details about the timeline of events. McGarrell began his shift at 1800 hours HRS on Wednesday. When Welch arrived for his shift the next morning at around 6:40 HRS, he made the grim discovery of McGarrell's body beneath the sluice counterweight, a 3-ton boulder. The body, which exhibited visible crush injuries, was immediately taken to the Mahakoni Hospital, where McGarrell was pronounced dead. Authorities are investigating the circumstances surrounding the incident to determine how this tragic accident occurred. The community is mourning the loss of McGarrell, remembered by many as a dedicated worker and a beloved family man. 3 charged in attempted gold smuggling via CJIA. 3 individuals involved in an attempted gold smuggling operation through the Chetty Jugan International Airport were charged on Thursday. The accused are Ian Jacobys, 44, of Plantation Best, West Coast Demerara, Shamina Ahmed, 52, of Roraima Scheme, West Bank Demerara, Ashiana Salam Ali, 34, of Roraima Scheme, West Bank Demerara. They were apprehended with approximately 240 ounces of virtually pure gold disguised as silver-plated jewelry, valued at over $560,000, which they attempted to transport out of the country without the necessary permits and declaration to customs officials. The defendants appeared before Principal Magistrate Judy Latchman at the Diamond Magistrates Court, where they were formally charged. They all pleaded not guilty. Bail was granted in the amount of GYD $600,000 each, with specific conditions. Ian Jacobys must lodge his passport at the Diamond Court and report to the clerk every first Friday of the month. Shamina Ahmed and Ashiana Salam Ali are required to report to the clerk every Friday pending the outcome of the case. The case has been adjourned to June 18, 2024.
The gold board, not selling their gold to avoid taxes. From the investigation, is there an approximate value on how much taxes are being lost? And to tie to that, the gold smuggling, is there...
What I was saying is that the evasion, if you smuggle, you don't pay the royalty and the others. So it's a loss of taxes too. So that is what I meant by that. But the magnitude of the smuggling, I don't want to speculate, but we're going after the people who are doing it. And when I spoke about it about a couple of months back, we were dead serious about it. We're dead serious then, but there's been a lot of quiet work by the law enforcement agencies, and I want to say again that people who are involved, they're going to feel the full weight of the law enforcement agencies and the laws of Guyana.
And yesterday, a businessman, Frank Sani, trying, if I can quote just to be sure, be prepared for significant price hikes in consumer goods and other items due to over 150% surge in freight costs. I know government has been putting a number of measures in place to address these issues. Is a discussion going to be
that
had?
Frank Sanichar, subsequently, I think he removed the post because what is clear is that when there was a price hike in freight, the freight charges moved from just around $2,500 and $3,500 for 20-foot and a 40-foot container to about $20,000 per container, just the freight to move it from China to Guyana, the same container, in the COVID period, because there were shortages. What we did is we kept the old freight rate constant. So you pay taxes on the CIF value of the goods, the cost, insurance, and freight. So if the costs remain the same and the insurance remain the same, if the freight had gone up significantly, that means our taxes would go up. So it would complicate them, it would even make it even more inflationary. We kept the old freight rate for the calculation of the taxes. So they did not pay any more taxes than they were paying before. So the entire growth in costs was the freight, the cost that they were paying, the increased cost for freight. So a lot of those people, when the freight rates came down back to $4,000, we still kept the old arrangement in place, the old rates, but the freight rates came down back. They never adjusted the price for the consumers. They kept the same selling price, but they had this huge benefit. So now the freight rate has gone up back. We don't believe that there should be major pass-through of these rates to the consuming public. So I would urge people not to buy from some of these people who are using every opportunity to almost gouge. They want to gouge the consumers. So I saw another businessman, I can assure you, he posted that increases in taxes. There's no increase in taxes we're using because of the higher freight. We're using the old freight rate too. Might want to mention his no, maybe I shouldn't mention his company here, but they're planning to gouge people. Now, clearly the freight rate has gone up, and what has happened is because of what's happening in the Red Sea, because of the Yemenis, the Hutu, the vessels can't traverse that sea. They have to come all the way around, so that has pushed up the cost of freight, and then the bottleneck in the Panama Canal. Those two things have impacted. So in any inflation here, it's not driven by domestic policies. It's largely because of these two events, which we are hoping to abate, because if the war, Israel's unconscionable attack on the Palestinian people were to end, that would abate the situation back, hopefully, in the Red Sea. And then I think the Panama Canal, because it was in the drought period, they had water shortages there. So that's coming back to normalcy. But I think some of these people are looking to gouge the consumers all the time. Many of them never adjusted their rates downwards from the COVID period. And we have, by keeping the rate constant, on an average, we probably give up about $5 to $8 billion a year by keeping the lower freight costs so that they don't have to pay higher taxes. So you lose $5 to $8 billion of revenue. And all of the other interventions we have made is to keep their prices constant. We have fared better than other countries, but still there is inflationary pressure only because of the imported inflation, not because of what we're doing. So I want to urge people to go carefully and shop sensibly.